Mario, once again, Friday, November 14, 2025. Um, I decided to dig out my other box that had my early work. I mean, I got tons and tons of boxes that have a lot of the stuff that I did back in the years when I was developing these little sub-micro helicopters, micro, sub-micro. So I mentioned that I obtained this helicopter, this electric Skylark, with all the stuff that was in that box, from a gentleman that had found me through one of the forums that I was posting on early on back at the days of AOL, and so he got a hold of me. He said, I'm interested in one of your little helicopters, and what I'm going to show you is the helicopter that I traded this Ishimasha Skylark with. And what you're seeing here, this is the Sport LE that I developed. Look how light this helicopter is. All the stuff right here that you see is carbon rods. This, I believe, is brass tubing with aluminum sockets, two couplers for aluminum rotor head. Here's the paddle control right there. This one is missing the squash plate. At this time when I was developing this helicopter, I was just beginning to build my own injection molding equipment so that I could do the squash plate, some of the even the gears. The gears I employ on this one are called these are called phenolic gears. They're basically linen based with an epoxy, and I got a hold of these gears through a American Science Center, American Science Surplus. I got a bunch of these gears in those years that I was developing these things, or back in the day. And this is how I was making my helicopters. And I used these gears because they were the lightest ones that I could get a hold of. As far as trying to make this micro helicopter, and you can see this has a rotor of this is a good I would say 10, 20, maybe about 20. About an 18-inch rotor here, and it's extremely lightweight because I use carbon rods. The skids are aluminum, carbon rod frame. This right here is actually paper. I printed this paper. I would print this and then I would roll it in that particular shape. All this has the carbon rods all the way right through, so it's very sturdy. And then the paper is laminated with a really light coat of a lacquer. So this is lacquer coated paper. Over the years, it's gotten a little brittle there. The blades I was doing the same way. I was printing this on paper, reinforcing them with a little bit of balsa wood in between the paper, and then laminating that over a curve so that I can get the curvature on the blades. Same thing on the main blades. You can see how the blades are also, they have that curvature. This is all paper laminated. And I got that idea of laminating these blades because I saw these gears and I go, you know what? If they're laminating gears and they're making these gears really lightweight and really thin with linen and epoxy, this linen-based phenolic is a linen-based, or sometimes phenolics are paper-based products, with epoxy coated. And that's how they develop these sheets. Fiberglass has done the same thing. Carbon has done the same thing. And so I printed this, with that carbon look. This is also paper. Again, coated with a very thin coat of lacquer, to establish that. A little more three-dimensional details here. And so this is the helicopter that I traded with this Ishimasha. This is the one that the gentleman saw that I was talking about back in those years. And so when he saw that, of course, it was, it had the service, it had all the equipment. I traded him the whole thing without the radio. And so, there's the little motor, gear drive motor, and then 20 gear drive motor. This is how I was doing this is way before the Piccolo was even around, before I even knew that there was another guy in the Netherlands developing a helicopter, big Piccolo. In fact, he's the one that stumbled on my stuff. When I was doing this, somebody said, "Hey, Mario, did you know that there's another guy that is developing a similar helicopter to yours?" And I go, "Really? Well, we're at Netherlands." And so that's just a little information there, so that my viewers can get a little more history, the true history of these things here. So I developed these things, as you can see here. This helicopter, I flew this. I show some. I have some old VHS videos that I did this helicopter. It's been I've taken these things apart. This is called again the two-legged helicopter. This is where my two-legged more modern submicro helicopters stem from this particular one. And once again, paper canopy. And I had to do this because at that time, when I was doing these things, I was really fighting with the technology that was so heavy. I'll continue in my next video.